What's up guys, Coach Az answering your martial art related questions. I got another one on Instagram today. It's a great question, so I'm going to share it with you guys. Bit of a story, so bear with us while I read this out to you. Sparring one of the guys at my gym the other day, and he stopped me mid-round and told me I hit too hard. I apologized, went lighter, and we finished the round with no more issues. After, I went to apologize and he told me that a lot of people have been saying it and that I might want to reconsider my approach. It's left me pretty devastated, to be honest. I've never tried to hurt people and hate that this is the idea that everyone has of me. Thing is, I really don't think that I do hit too hard. Any advice? I've considered asking the coaches, but not really sure how to go about it. Appreciate your videos and how you go into the mental side of sparring so much. Keep it up. Well, man, thanks so much for the compliment. I really enjoy talking about the mental side of sparring. I think it doesn't get talked about enough, especially amongst men. We have an issue of talking about things like mental health, and this is kind of an extension of that. And in combat sports, which is just such a kind of tough, gritty sport, it's even more of an issue, but I think it's even more important because of how much the mental side comes into things. Great question. I say this a lot when I get these questions, but I say very normal because I really want you guys to understand that the stuff that you're going through, a lot of people go through it. It's really normal in gyms. A lot of these situations, don't think that it's specific to you, that, you know, there's this asshole in your gym who hits too hard or that you've been told you hit too hard. It happens everywhere. It's really common. I'm going to give you an idea or something to take away to help you reframe the way you think about this. And then I'm going to give you some specific advice. But here's the idea that I want you to take away when it comes to hitting too hard, because that's such a personal thing, right? You can spar one guy and they're like knocking each other's heads off, and at the end of it they're like, great round, right? And then you can spar another guy and he doesn't even want you to tap him because he's so kind of thing about getting hit. And the way I'll relate it is to spicy food. Everyone has a real different tolerance for spicy food. Some people love it. Some people can't stand it. But what's more interesting about it is what people consider to be spicy food. Again, it becomes subjective. My parents, as an example, have zero tolerance for spicy food. We'll go out for a curry and they will get the mildest curry, which, you know, for anyone who knows it, chicken korma, chicken tikka masala. These have no heat in them. Yet my parents will say to me, "Oh, they made it a bit spicy this time." And you can't help but laugh because I'm sitting there with a vindaloo or something and I'm sweating through the gills and I'm like, that cannot be spicy. But it's subjective, and what you enjoy and what your tolerance for it and what your exposure to it is very different from person to person. So understand, it sounds like, whether you're aware of it or not, you're a bit of a vindaloo guy, and the guys you're sparring might be a bit more chicken tikka masala. Again, the big thing to note is it's not necessarily that, their way is right, your way is wrong. I don't believe in hard sparring anymore. I don't think that that's something we should be doing. But I do believe in competitive sparring. I do believe sparring needs to have a level of intensity. And if we're just going to be tapping each other, that is not going to translate into a fight or a competitive scenario or even a self-defense scenario. We need to go at speed. We just need to restrain in terms of the power. Now, one possible thing is that you are hitting too hard, okay? If it's a thing that's been said around the gym, then there's a chance that you're hitting too hard, and your instinct to go talk to your coaches about it is the correct instinct. Go to the people in charge of the gym because they're going to have a philosophy and a view of what they want their sparring to look like. I've spoke before on this channel about sparring culture. Every gym has a different sparring culture, and you need to get a good understanding of what that is. Your gym might have a sparring culture that encourages and promotes a very light form of sparring. I've got no frame of reference. I haven't seen a video of you guys spar. I don't know what we're referring to. You might be walloping people, or they might just be very used to being hit very, 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 very lightly. Go speak to your coaches and ask them, what do you think of my sparring? Would you say I hit too hard? They're not gonna be upset at you for asking. If anything, they're gonna be encouraged by the fact that you care enough to ask. The fact that you show a presence and awareness of it they're going to appreciate it, because possibly you do hit too hard, and possibly your coaches haven't found the right time or felt confident enough to approach you about it and say something about it. This happens a lot. You'll be surprised how many coaches don't actually have it in themselves to talk to their own members and tell them when they're acting in a way that they find inappropriate. And it's not, I mean, I guess it is a bit of a bad sign of a coach, but it is also very normal. People are human. They don't like confrontation, and they get worried about how it's going to look. Now, obviously, they have a responsibility for people's safety, and they should be considered, but it is a possibility. So if you open the dialogue, possibly they're going to turn around and go, look, man, yeah, you do hit a little too hard. We need to pull it back a little bit. The other thing is be aware that when someone says that to you, someone says the other guys in the gym feel the same way, that could also be them just reassuring themselves that they're not being a marshmallow, right? They're not being soft about it. That they've got one other guy in the gym and they've kind of gone to him and gone, God, doesn't Jim hit hard? And he's gone, yeah, I guess Jim does hit hard. And he hears that, he's like, yeah, see, everyone feels this way about Jim. And it's like a personal reassurance. You've only got his word to go off. So don't get it in your head that everyone in that gym is talking behind your back and thinks that you hit too hard, because it's unlikely that that's the case. Here's some things you can do to make sure that this isn't an issue moving forward, especially when you're sparring someone who maybe you haven't sparred, or you haven't sparred for a while, or you've never had a conversation about contact. Start sparring, throw a few shots, quickly stop, and ask, how's the contact, right? I went and got a sports massage the other day, and that's what they do, right? They'll start a sports massage and they'll say, how's the pressure? They're basically asking you, am I hurting you? Can I go firmer, or do you need me to ease off a little bit? What level of pain are you experiencing? Okay. And if you get comfortable asking that question to people, they will get comfortable giving you an honest reply. Yeah, man, it's good. That's it. You've had a 1-second conversation at the very start of the round. You now got 3 minutes and you got the green light to continue as you were doing. Man, you're hitting a bit hard. My bad. I've been told, I'll tone it down. Let's go. Carry on for a bit, again, and then at the end of the round, check in. Was that all right? Is that controlled enough? And then if they give you this response, because this is the other side of it, right? If they give you this response, no, come on, right? You're probably going a bit too light. Like, you're probably going a little too easy, and they're egging you on to come on, let's spar. The big thing though is what I said at the start. It's that spice factor. It's that tolerance for it. We're not talking about the extreme ends of the spectrum, the just touching people and the trying to knock each other's heads off. But in between those two ends of the spectrum, and it is a spectrum, some people will edge to the harder side. Some people will edge to the lighter side. We need to be respectful of each other. You eat whatever curry you want and you spar whatever way you want. I'm going to eat the curry I want and I'm going to spar the way I want. Now, if you find that you're in a room full of people and no one wants to spar at your intensity, maybe you need to find another room. Okay, because like I said, every gym has got a different culture and a different approach to it. So maybe there's another room that's a bit more appropriate to how you like to spar in terms of your level of intensity. But the other thing is that possibly you are too intense, you are too rough, and you do need to tone it back down. And that's something that's perfectly reasonable. At the end of the day, I don't want anyone to walk away from this and think that you can go take big headshots, get yourself some brain damage, injure other people and have a good time and it's all okay. It's not. We need to look after each other. We need to protect our sparring partners and we need to protect ourselves. So guys, I hope that's been somewhat helpful to you if you've had these issues. This also goes the other way. I've done videos before on dealing with sparring partners you think hit too hard, but really the solution is always open-ended communication. Talk to each other and get comfortable with doing so. The more comfortable you get with having these uncomfortable conversations, the less of an issue it will become in the long run. Talk to your sparring partners, let them know that either they're going too hard, they're going too soft, or just let them know when it's just a great sparring round. I do it all the time with my guys, where when it's a good sparring round, when we get that synergy just right, we're hitting just right, we've got the right level of intensity, I'll tell them. I'll be at the end of the round, I'll go, man, that was a solid round. Keep that up. What you were doing there, more of that. And you kind of reaffirm and you reassert that that's the kind of energy that you want going on in the room. Guys, if it's been helpful, please, like button, hit it. Thank you. Subscribe to the channel. New videos coming every week. I will see you on the next one.